Pope Francis is back in Rome following his 4-day trip to the majority Muslim nation of Bahrain. On his final day, the Holy Father invited Catholics, quote, to be bold in proclaiming the gospel.
Tutto sorga dalla grazia. Tutto è grazia.
At a gathering at a Catholic church in the Persian Gulf nation, the Holy Father encouraged the clergy to bring God's joy to the people there. The Pope also reminded attendees, quote, with God, we can face and overcome everything. On Saturday, the Holy Father celebrated Mass before 30,000 people. Joining us now from Rome is EWTN Vatican Producer Alexey Gotovskiy, who accompanied the Holy Father to Bahrain. Alexey, great to see you. Can you share with us some highlights of the Holy Father's trip and what stood out the most to you?
Good evening, Tracy. One of the main highlights of the trip was the Holy Mass celebrated in Bahrain's National Stadium with 30,000 pilgrims on the third day of the trip. And some of the pilgrims had traveled from the neighboring countries, such as Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. And the majority of the Catholics in the region are migrant workers from other parts of Asia. One man, originally from Pakistan, told me that moving to Bahrain was worth it only for the opportunity to meet the Pope. The Holy Father told those gathered in the stadium that what Jesus asked us to do does not primarily concern the great problems of humanity, but the concrete situations of our daily lives, our relationships in the family and in the Christian community, in the workplace and in the society. Another highlight was the gathering with young people at the Sacred Heart School. The group was made up of Muslims and Christians, but they all were excited to meet the Pope and hear his message. A young Muslim student from Saudi Arabia told me that he sees Pope Francis as universal peacemaker between all religions. And another student told me how proud she is to be a Catholic and expressed her excitement for the Pope's message. And Pope Francis told them that the Church supports young people and needs each one of them. He encouraged them to never lose the courage to dream big and to live life to the full.
And Alexey, we know the Holy Father also held a news conference on the flight back to Rome. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, the first question was about the results of the trip to Bahrain, and the Pope summarized it by saying that it was a journey of encounter with a new culture, with the Christian community, and with the other religions. But to enter into interreligious dialogue or ecumenical dialogue, the Pope stressed that you must have a strong identity and understanding of who you are and what you believe. And without this strong identity, dialogue is difficult. He said that the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar and Patriarch Bartholomew, with whom he met in Bahrain, have this strong identity. And he's pleased with the dialogue they could have together.
And overall, before I let you go, how did the trip go, and what were some of the themes that the Holy Father discussed?
Yes, the other themes were war and peace, the situation in Lebanon, and the role of women. The Holy Father spoke about the importance of female leadership. He said that when God created men and women, he did not create women to be man's pet dog. I quote, "Man is to take care of women as his own flesh, and all women's rights come from this equality." A society that is unable to put women in her rightful place impoverishes itself, he said. The Pope also lamented that in 1 century there have been 3 world wars. He mentioned conflict zones like Syria, Yemen, Ethiopia, Myanmar, and Ukraine. Pope Francis blamed the arms trade and the arms merchants for the current situation of war. In responding on the questions of how to revive Christianity in Germany, by the way, you know, the German bishops are coming to Rome for an ad limina visit next week. The Holy Father said that he doesn't want a second Protestant church in Germany, but he wants a Catholic church that is in brotherhood with the Protestants. He said that if there is no encounter with Jesus Christ, there will be ethics instead of Christianity. And he wished the German church to draw the strength from the simple religiosity that they can find in their grandparents. And it is important to remember that our strength and our religiosity are in the roots, and it is not to go backwards if we draw source from the roots and from our grandparents.
Well, Alexey, thank you so much for that report today. We really appreciate it. Alexey Gotovskiy, EWTN Vatican Producer. Thank you again.